Hi there. We are back at U.S. History. We're going to go back into the online learning U.S. History folder. At this point, we're looking at week two. This should show up on your screen at the top of the page once you have your classes in Schoology. I don't have that yet when I'm making this video, so eventually the later videos should show this. When you get into week two, there is the video obviously at the top, which hopefully you found already because you came to in class and I pointed you in the right direction, or you just know now. There are 4 assignments to do this week, and each one is really short, sweet, simple, and it really goes into some of the background of the ideas of things we need to pay attention to as we go throughout this distance learning, but then also getting into the hybrid part and doing the distance and hybrid. So first assignment is about digital citizenship. What you're going to do, this is a combination of 2 things. This is the type of assignment that you'll often get the first day of class or the first week, part of the week. This is usually the discussion is what you should start with because it's always going to be kind of a preview question. So I want you to get used to kind of how to use this type of assignment. And many of you may have already done this a lot, so it's not that big of a deal. So typically what I'll have in this case, it's a video about digital citizenship, which is down here. You watch that, and then you're going to write 2 to 3 sentences. All right. You reflect on the last 3 comments you made on the internet, talking about whether they were helpful, they added to a conversation, or were kind, and how did that contribute to a positive digital world. The video will help you kind of get an idea of what that means and what types of things you're talking about. All right, the next assignment after that, so that shouldn't be too quick. And if you see once you do it, what your grade is, that should give you an idea of like what I'm looking for. And if you read the rubric that's attached, essentially for a 4, you have to write more than 2 to 3 sentences. So that's kind of going beyond. You get a 3 as long as you have 2 to 3 sentences that are written clearly and make sense. Anything less than that will be a 2 or a 1. All right, the next assignment is about internet privacy. All right. So if you don't know exactly what this is or what it's talking about, there's a video again from this Tarver Academy. This Tyler Tarver is a teacher. He has some great videos, and then an article here talking a little bit about what internet privacy is and how it relates to you as a student. And again, you're going to write 2 to 3 sentences. And in this case, you're going to list 1 or 2 websites that have been blocked in school, and then answer the questions about whether it prevented you from doing research, if you know anybody who's ever been blocked, but then managed to kind of get around that block, and then kind of a personal question of like, well, who do you think should be deciding that? And this is kind of an interesting question because, as you know, there's a lot of stuff that's blocked in school that prevents you from accessing information. And it's blocked because, unfortunately, some people have used it for things that aren't that good. Well, that's a big question that's happened, especially as we've gotten into digital learning. Like, well, if you can use the internet on your phone outside of school to watch anything, why do we have this device that says you can't watch everything? Like, who is it that's deciding that? The reality of what this article talks a little bit about is how you should have a little bit more say in what or how you can research or look at information, because that's part of making you a better person and a better student. Like, you should find the things that will give you the information you want. And then there's a little quiz that you'll need to take here just about these 2. It's very easy. Just want you to kind of show me that you paid attention and did the work. And then by the end of the week, this is going to be another formative assessment, kind of leading us to then the history stuff that we're going to be doing. This is a little video, which is attached down here. David Christian, who talks a little bit about the history of the world. And I want you to think a little bit as he's talking about that with relationship to this chart. And this chart basically is just kind of a basic root question thing. I want you to try to come up with a question for each one of these. Think of like who, and then whatever, how, blank, based on what Christian says. This is a long video. It's about 15 minutes. So this may take you a couple days. All right. And I want you to just come up and develop a question about something in history. All right. And something that he's talking about as it relates to history of the world, and then maybe even the United States that we're going to be looking at. And then on top of that, after you see your comment, I want you to read somebody else's questions and either answer it or add to something that somebody has already written about. I don't want you to just copy the same answer. I want you to add your own insight into it. All right. So that is for week 2. As far as kind of the history class of kind of getting into some of the background of stuff that you're going to need, we're really focusing on discussions and quizzes because those are going to be kind of key elements to our weekly assignments. Next week, when we get into colonization and the hybrid model, I'll be able to kind of have a little bit more one-on-one, description of how to upload things and where to put them and the types of things that you should do, and so on and so forth. So that's basically the 4 things that you should have done by the end of the week and submitted. Thank you.